When did you first come to Antioch?
I came in 1973 as a student, and I was going to high school in Long Island. And I graduated high school in June. It was the June after the strike of '73.
What was it like?
Well, there was a lot of tumult because the strike had just happened, and I was a first-year student, so I immediately got organized into 4 faculty had sided with the students and were trying to be reinstated, and they had been fired. So there was a lot of work being done on the campus to save the fired faculty, and one of them was Victor Garcia. So obviously it worked and people were reinstated, but I got immediately involved in that movement when I came. Very exciting time. There were about 1,200 students. There was a whole African-American theater wing of the theater. So there was a whole sort of separate theater company with black directors doing work. Outdoor Shakespeare was kind of happening here at the theater building, and it was, a pretty lively, active place. I studied Marxism my first term. Took Intro to Marxism. I took drawing, and I took a theater class, and I can't remember what else I took. That first term. Oh, I think I took botany.
What did you do after you graduated from Antioch?
I joined Otrobanda Company, which was a theater company that had started at Antioch, and they did a raft tour of the Mississippi River. They traveled from St. Louis to New Orleans on a pontoon raft and performed in a circus tent. And they had come back, they had been in Malaysia and traveled around. A director named Toon Bruland from Belgium had come here to Antioch, and he brought them to Malaysia, to Curacao, where they got their name. And so they had come to do a workshop, and they invited me to join them on the river tour. So I had been in New York for my last co-op. I was working for this really not very good employer who was a children's theater director, and I quit. It was the only time I ever quit a job. I think in my whole life. I don't think I've quit too many jobs, but and then I was kind of floundering around, and they invited me, so I immediately joined them and moved to New Orleans.
How did your career at Antioch affect your life after college?
Oh my God! So Otrobanda was my first professional job. It was all Antioch people, it was all Antiochians. There was about 14 of us. We lived in New Orleans. I did the river tour for 5 years, and we all moved to New York together. A bunch of us moved to New York together. I graduated in '77. These were all like late '60s, early '70s graduates who became kind of like a little home for me in downtown New York. I just ran into Antioch people all the time. Like I worked on this film with Lizzie Borden, Working Girls, and the woman who was doing the sound was an Antiochian. It's like everywhere I went, I met, in the downtown theater scene, I met people from Antioch. So yeah, it had a big effect. It taught me I was kind of a musical theater geek in high school. And so Antioch really opened up my mind to what theater could be and the purpose of theater, like what it is. And then obviously it had a huge effect because I came back to teach here. And that's been 14 years now. I came back in '94, the January of '94. The previous theater professor who had been here died of AIDS on the previous Thanksgiving. And it was pretty traumatic for the students because he wasn't very open about it. And so that was actually very hard on the students and on the community as a whole. And so they wanted somebody to come back who understood the place or, had a sense about it, to kind of just be here for 6 months and help heal the department and get the place kind of feeling alive again. And I was here about 3 weeks, and I just went, yeah, okay, I'm going to apply for this job. So yeah.
How has art had an effect on campus politics and culture, like performing arts here, from your viewpoint in the theater department?
Well, when I was a student, it was really interesting because the whole effort of the strike and the fired faculty, and also this was when the college was unionizing. When I was a student, I was always performing with this little group that was taught by a student, and it was a kind of in support of the strike. So there was kind of a lot of agitprop theater going on in support of the strike and stuff like that. In the era that I've been here, I've seen theater be more of like a, and dance, the dance community, the dance department also, be a place where we set aside political differences and celebrate our community in a different kind of way, and celebrate each other in a different kind of way than sometimes we could do in political discourse. So for me, it had a political dimension in that it helped strengthen our sense of community when we sometimes were splintering, you know. And we've tried to choose plays that meet the moment that we're in, not just institutionally, but in the world. So I think that's been important. And then the other political dimension has been the connection to the community of Yellow Springs, because that's a huge part of what we do here.
How can theater arts play a part in the effort to save Antioch?
Well, that's a really great question. I think that the theater building, the building, is a facility that is positioned really well to be part of a future Antioch that has more support from the community to function. I mean, we've been kind of an outpost, frankly. And I think that being on the edge of campus, pointing toward the village, and this whole idea of a performing arts center that would be situated sort of in that in-between space of campus and community kind of points the way towards how we could position the college as a unique place. Because every school in the country, liberal arts school right now, is selling global citizenship, service learning, experiential learning, community and interdisciplinarity and social justice. I mean, this is stuff we've been doing for ages and ages. We're not going to make our mark that way. But to think about a partnership with a local community that's synergistic, that is mutually beneficial, that is situated in place in a way where place becomes something tangible and real, and really important, and where it's everything from ecological awareness to the current issues within the communities, both in the college and the village. Those kind of things, I think the theater is positioned to do very well.
And the $500,000 question, why do you stay?
Oh, wow. That's going to make me cry, Chris. Why do I stay? I guess because of those early experiences of being here and finding a home, seeing my children being raised here and being very nourished by this community and by the college and being a part of it, because I believe in the place, you know. I think this is a really amazing community, and it hurts my feelings when people try to characterize it in anything but a community that's in struggle to realize itself in an authentic way. Yeah, we make mistakes, but I don't know, I don't see this kind of struggle happening everywhere, you know, and we should get some credit for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.